Okay, 5 to 8. We seem to leave at 5 to 8 for some reason. As you can see, quite a foggy morning. Sun is trying to break through. However, now we're getting back on this road and we're going to go towards Norseman. Better put a fan on a bit and demist a bit of the window. Now, crikey, it was a bit cold, but then I had my big jacket on and I had to take it off. GPSs is, that's because I pulled it out. I'm charging another battery. That's what I'm doing. I will go that way. That's the way we came in. Well, yeah, baby. Well, that was a really nice little area to camp in. I do recall seeing the weather chart the other day, and it was forecasting clouds and possible rain. I don't think we'll get any rain. Anyway, here we go, back on the road, and it's straight through. It's 145 apparently to where we want to be. So we'll turn this on. Still foggy. Well, be like this probably to Norseman, I'd say. I do have my headlights on. Ooh, it's a real pea super at the moment. Going to take the sun a while to burn this off, I think. As I drive along here, I'm thinking about my older brother who flew his little two-seater aeroplane over from Victoria across to Jandakot recently, and he was going to come down to visit in Albany, but the weather turned really foul, so at his discretion he decided he was going to go. But I'm just looking out here and I'm thinking, crikey, you wouldn't have been able to fly over, because he did fly across this country. I was following him on his on the flight radar, and he flew across this country a little bit further to the north, but he wouldn't have been able to fly today. Luckily on the ground you can still poke along. It's certainly not a very well used road because as you can see when we just drove out, the road is not really very far, or the breakaway is not very far off the actual main road. And I think I only heard 2 vehicles at any point from dusk yesterday through to this morning at this time. So although it's a road train route, it's not really that well used. Certainly not for tourists. I just passed a sign that said Norseman 150 and my GPS says 129, so there's a bit of a difference there. We've got visuals. All of a sudden that was a really heavy bank of cloud in there. I was right down to 70. Now I'm up to 90. Goody goody. Road's just on a bit of a dog leg. Looks like we're heading into more fog. Better surface. It's very smooth, but it would be treacherous in the wet. It's quite slippery, I think. I'm zinging along here, 2250 revs at 100 k's. We'll have a little look at where we've been now that the sun is shining on the road. Get some idea of the country out here. Here's another shot of it from the rear. It's a woodland. Norseman 140. I didn't make a cup of coffee. Oh well, I didn't make a thermos of coffee this morning because it was too cold. I made a cup and I had a cup of coffee, and then I thought, oh, a bit too cold to start cranking up the kettle and all that. It was damp, so I just packed everything away and got on the road. So I'm coffeeless. Oh heck. The sun's come out nicely now, so this is we're sort of heading up a slight rise. Might get a view of the country off there. Yep, there it is. Look at that, beautiful. Hey, don't you love Australia? Western Australia anyway. Beautiful. Now this is an intersection now. This is Victoria Rocks Road, which turns off I think to the left, and That takes you directly up to Coolgardie, which is this road here on the left, but we're going through to Norseman, Queen Victoria Rock Road. Maybe save that one for another time. According to the GPS map, there are a couple of lakes on either side. We're actually driving between two, but obviously there is very little, if any, water in them. There's one across there. There it is there. It's more a salt pan than a lake. Or maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what they call it. I can't read the map because I'm driving. I'm only just looking at a diagram. Anyway, that's part of the system. Ooh, change of road surface. Woo. There's another lake off to my right. You can't see if that's got any water in it because I'm doing a turn, as you see. I'm assuming that the bitumen is something to do with flood mitigation if when they do get heavy rain out here, that it makes this section easier to cross. And now we're going to go back onto the gravel, so there you go. Maybe that blew that theory out of the water. Wow, there is sort of like a change in scenery here, with the lake off to my right, and we're still in a partly woodland area here off to the left. We have changed direction slightly because this road, once we get around that particular bend that was paved, I believe, from the map, we head slightly south towards Norseman, and then we'll head a little bit further towards the east once we reach a certain point, I guess. Hello. Because I've just come full circle around that, and I can actually see across there, as you no doubt can too now. Ooh, that's a big area, isn't it? Imagine that full of water. Beautiful. We've come back into the trees. We left the lake behind. This is actually a fun road to drive. It's very, very pleasant, especially on this section too. It's as I say, I'm doing about 2,200 revs, and I'm sitting on 100. My tyres are at about 2.5 bar, which is, I don't know, 35, 38 PSI or something. And it's a smooth. It's a very pleasant ride now across this section. But the whole road itself has been quite remarkably smooth. I expected it to be extremely corrugated, but it's not. It's very well maintained apparently, or it seems to be. So pleasantly surprised. We must be, I'd say about 100 k's or so from Norseman now. I haven't actually seen a little sign for a while. The last one I did pass was 120, so I reckon I would have done 120 k's since then. Hang on, what have we got coming up here? No, it's just a post. Here's one. Green sign. Norseman. 90. Ah, I'm 10 behind. Silly me. This is an entry into a place called Disappointment Rock. Disappointment Rock. So I'm just going to have a little quick look. Oh yeah. Look. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. A little wash away there. I see there's a public toilet up here. That long drop. Okay. Picnic table. Well, that's the rock, apparently. Western Australia has a lot of rocks, big ones. Yep. So you could camp in there. Got a public toilet. That's a good one. Oh, private. What a ripper. Okay. Disappointment Rock. Not much to do. And I must tell you anyway, if you are contemplating coming out this way, there is no mobile reception, no internet, no nothing, right? So you have to get back to nature and entertain yourselves with no technical devices. Well, there we are. That was exciting. Disappointment Rock. About 500 metres off the road. Okay. And away we go. Got a vehicle belting along. Watch my window. Okay. Slow down. There was a trailer earlier this morning. A vehicle with a camper trailer, and he was belting along a little bit, and he kicked up a couple of rocks which whacked into my windscreen yet again. I was going to change my windscreen before I left because I have a number of little dings in it, but I thought, no, I'll leave it until they come back from this one. And that will be the second windscreen I'll have put in this vehicle. Oh, and there we are, spread out before us. Vast expanse of WA. There was supposed to be another, or one other that I know of, campsite according to the Camps book, Camps Australia book. And it was allegedly 57 kilometres from the Breakaways. But I don't remember seeing any signpost for it. That we just passed that Disappointment Rock. But that was clearly signposted, as was the Breakaways. So I'm not sure whether the one, I'll have to actually have a look in the book when I camp next to just see exactly where it was. Also, off this road at the Hyden end is the beginning of the Holland track, and I can't remember actually seeing any signpost there. Maybe I was asleep at the time. But I can't remember actually seeing a sign that said, you know, Holland track this way or whatever. So I'll have to have a little bit more study of the maps when I get some time. Road gets busier as you get closer to Norseman. Another vehicle. actually dead. In fact, most of them appear to be dead. Certainly no green on them, and they have that dead look about them. Anyway, the bush is regenerating, as you can see, and don't know how long it takes these trees to grow out here. Look, another vehicle coming. Definitely my way of travelling. Rooftop tent, live out in the back of the thing. I've been carrying a couple of passengers all the way. 2 bloody flies, and they're driving me crazy, and I cannot get them out. Get out of here. We may have had this conversation before, like, what happens with flies? Where do they go at night? Because when the sun goes down, they disappear. And as soon as the sun, well, it's not as soon as the sun comes up, it must be. Morning one at 4.4. Uh-oh, that's on the CB. Anyway, there's a question. Where do flies go at night and during the winter? I'm just going to pull up here because my Canon battery, which is being charged on my inverter, has just shown a green light, and I know the other one in the camera itself is requiring a charge, so I'm going to swap the batteries over. Excuse me. I noticed this morning when I was taking the foggy thing, the battery was showing a red thing, which is not good. So we'll take this one out. Come on, out you come, baby. Whilst I've got the car running, that's why I'm doing this. Green light there for that battery. You go in there, yeah, you're charging, and I'll put you straight into the camera. And we can continue our journey. Done. I am sacrificing one of my GPS. In fact, I'm sacrificing my rear-facing camera. Not rear-facing camera, you know what they mean. My reversing camera, that's what I was saying. Okay, that's done, a little job done. Oh, here comes the caravan, look at that. A caravan. Okay, we're off. How many to go? 41 kilometres to the national highway, and I think it's about 10 or something to Norseman, so what are we, about 50? Here we go. Strangely enough, we're running into more mist. There was a distinct line on the horizon of cloud, and I can see in the distance it's that misty, overcasty thing. The sun obviously hasn't burned that off. Come on, sun. I just passed the 40k sign to Norseman, so we'll be there in half an hour. Norseman. Here comes a truck. And whatever, there's been fires down here years ago, obviously. But by gee, it's pretty desolate. These trees just sticking up, no growth on them. New trees growing up in amongst them. Anyway, you can see one over there, look. Tree growing up. Oh, road's starting to get busy. Okay, another truckie. Well, that's the Shire of Dundas trucks. Decision. This is Mort Harslet Drive, detour for heavy vehicles, Kalgoorlie, Esperance, Hyden, Clondinnan. Where is Norseman? I want to go Norseman. Now, Mount Hartnett Drive. Come on, maps, you're letting me down now. I'm here. Where is Norseman on this thing? Mount Hartnett Drive, Cherry Island. Huh. Okay. Takes me straight into Norseman. Right, we'll keep on this road because it's a bit of a touristy road apparently. Might be interesting, let's look at it. Okay. And it's 6 1/2 dozen, I think. Mort Harslet Drive. Hang on, I would have thought a tourist drive. Oh, they're unpaved sections apparently. I was just thinking to myself, it'll be a tourist drive, it'll be paved all the way for the caravans, but no. Anyway. Victorian. Australia Black Spot Project. What does that mean? Oh yeah, here we are, the salt pan. Okay. Squiggly wigglies for the next 4 Ks. crossing the lake bed. We'll look at it from the back end. We'll look at it from the back end. Don't know that you can see much out the back. Oh, you probably can. Ooh, better slow down here. In reverse, so now we're not very far actually from the town of Norseman. We're almost in it, apparently. I do see some buildings on a hill up there. This would be a mongrel in the rain. Woohoo! Yay! Here we are. Sign that says Norseman. The fuel station to top my tank up. Then I will check my phone and call the lovely Kay because we've been out of contact for a couple of days. Haven't had that gearbox fixed, have I? Nope. Now, I know at Norseman there is the service station and there is the motel I stayed in once, so we'll make our way through. Caravan park over there. There's a number of caravans in it. Yep, there's the local gendarmerie. Now, short of programming this Garmin with information, just take me to the main street. Over here is a park sign with a tree and a toilet sign, and there's a caravan. And this has got to be the main drag again. Yep, we're in it now. I might just pull over down here and go find the service station again. Left on the corner. service stations. Norseman. Oh, I'll have to program the bloody car. Okay, Norseman. One Princeps Street, Norseman.